Howdy, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition Days of Decision 3 Combined Game Playthrough. Last turn we saw a bunch of gear ups. The Soviets geared up. Actually that was the only one. Soviets geared up. However, the US actually did a U.S. tension event. They got East Coast escorts and a bunch of other things. They did their option number 9 because the U.S. entry was high enough for them to do that. U.S. entry as of the beginning of this term, we're going to have Germany at 52.5, Italy at 12.5, and Japan at 21. Now the U.S. does have the ability to do some more U.S. entry options, but we'll just have to wait and see if that actually happens. Okay, let's go and take a look at starting money. Okay, everybody's in the red. Not that that's a surprise. All the spending they've been doing. Okay, we have Germany at -7, Japan at -5, Italy at -2. The Soviets are at -4. Commonwealth is at -8. The US is at -4. China's at -1. The Free French are at -4, and the Vichy French don't even count. All right, so the major powers have put in their bids. Let's go take a look at the track and see how the bids are going to work out. Right now we have the Soviets in first position, US in second, Germany third, Japan fourth, Italy fifth, Commonwealth sixth, the Free French seventh, and China is in at 8. So, the major powers have put in their bids. The US has bid 3, the USSR has bid 1, Germany's bid 1, Italy's bid 2, Japan's bid 1. Let's see how that shakes out. So we got the US bidding 3, they get a +3. Let's move this back a little bit. Right there. Alright, they get a +3. That gives them 6. The USSR has bid 1. They get a +4. That gives them 5. Germany's bid 1. They get a +3. That gives them 4. Italy's bid 2. They get a +2. That gives them 4. Japan has bid 1. They get a +2. That gives them 3. So it's going to look something like this. The Soviet Union... the U.S. with a total of 6 will be first. The Soviet Union with a total of 5 will be second. Germany with a total of 4 and Italy with a total of 4. We have to look over here to the political initiative. Germany's political initiative is 7 and Italy's political initiative is 3, so Germany breaks that tie. They will be third, the Italians will be 4th, and Japan will be 5th. First last card marker will be on the US, and the last card marker will be on Japan. The Commonwealth and the Free French are tied at 1. However, the Commonwealth's political marker is way up here at 7, and the Free French, or whatever you want to call them, are down at 3. So for non-bidding major powers, the Commonwealth will be 6, the French will be 7th, and China will be last as usual, or almost as usual. They've bid a few times, but not too much. Let's go and take a look and see what the U.S. is going to do for their political option. I'll take a trek over here to the Indian Ocean to die out of the way. The U.S. is going to do treaty. Takes it right here. U.S. option 3, treaty. Your initiative position must be less than the other major powers. The U.S. is 1. They're going to sign a treaty with the Soviet Union. I'm going to do nothing until we get to the Soviet Union, which will be up next. We don't need to roll to the end of political phase because there's 4 to 6 major powers at war. And that gives a +1 to the die. I can't roll a 1 on the die with a +1. I did roll a 1. A 1 plus 1, however, is 2. The political phase doesn't end. So, Soviets are up next. Let's go check out and see what they're going to do. Soviets are going to play agree to a proposal. Russian option number OF. Accept the proposal. Agree to a proposal. There's no DoDIII, there's no money cost for the Soviets, there's no U.S. entry for the Soviets. So I will go and put out the markers that the U.S. generated and record the U.S. entry that the U.S. generated, and then the Soviets will get to activate a miner, and I'll be right back in a second. Well, the Soviets don't have a lot of good options for activating miners, so they're going to try to do the U.S. a little bit of a favor. They're going to activate Mexico. And Soviet Union is one of those countries that can control all the miners. So they can do that. Come over to the status display. It's not even going to matter. They're both, the Japanese is a 1. It's not going to move the marker. The US is a -1. It's not going to move the marker. So that's that. Now the last thing we have to do is roll to see if the political phase ends. It'll be a 1. There's been 1 previous political option played. However, there's a +1 to the die. We rolled a 5. Political phase continues. I'll move the marker down. Forgot to move it last time. We're at Germany now. Let's go see what the Germans are going to do. I paid for everything, and I already did all that. But the U.S. entry for that treaty was pretty steep, actually. That's going to affect U.S. entry going forward. But I think the Germans might have something to do with some adding to some U.S. entry here. The Germans are going to declare war. Okay, they're going to play their option 4. It's war. Her PM is 3/4 or higher, so she's all set with that. The war is not actually going to be declared until the beginning of one of Germany's impulses. I'm going to pay the 8 money. And none of this actually happens until the first impulse where war is actually declared. So I'm not going to do any of this yet. I'm just going to pay the money, and I can do the U.S. entry though, because that's not going to affect anything. So I'll record the U.S. entry. That's a whopping +5. Pretty steep. Actually, it's going to be a +4 because of the Neutrality Act that the U.S. passed. Subtracts 1 or adds 1. It basically moves U.S. entry closer to 0. So the Germans do not get to activate a miner, so they just rolled to see if the political phase ends. And I lost my die. There we go. So there have been 2 political options played previously, and there's a +1 to the die, so the net is going to be a -1 to the die, so a 1 or 2, the political phase will end. And it's a 1! So the political phase is toast. I will tidy all this up, and I'll come right back with initiative and taking a look at the reinforcements for the turn. Okay, the initiative roll came down as a 7 for the Democrats, which have a -1 from their ideological initiative. They're in a -1 box, which gives them a 6. The Soviets rolled a 7. No modifiers, a 7. And the fascists, even with the +2, they rolled a 3. And it gives them a 5. The fascists decided they weren't going to ask for a reroll because they're not sure what the weather was going to be like. So the Democrats definitely wanted to go first because he wants to get his fleets out, get the convoys protected. The Commonwealth does. The Soviets that let the Democrats go first, they decided they would go second. And that forces the fascists to go last. And then the weather roll came up as a 7, which is fair weather everywheres. And the impulse marker moves up 1. Let's go take a look at reinforcements for this turn. The reinforcements are getting kind of heavy right now. Alright, let's see what we have. We have a Commonwealth militia. That's, oh, it's Canadian, Montreal. We can put that right there. Where is Montreal? Oh, it's right there. We can put that right there right now. Ah, that was easy. We have a Japanese militia, Hiroshima. Go on the map. We have an Italian fighter. It's not too bad a fighter, considering they don't really have any fighters. Yeah, we're going to put that on the map. We have an Italian infantry corps. 4-3, not too bad. We got some British or Commonwealth naval units. We got light cruiser, light cruiser, light cruiser, and we have a fighter, a Spitfire 2. And we have no pilot, so he's going to have to go right here for now. I think they have a pilot in here somewhere, so I will get to in a minute. When I find it, it'll probably go on the map. Okay, we got some ships here. Let's see what we got. We got an DE for the U.S. That's going on map. Remember, the U.S. can escort East Coast convoys now. We have a fighter, a P-43A. That's going to go on map. I think the U.S. does have a pilot. Yes, they do. We have a garrison division. That will go on map. The Chinese have a garrison division, as well as a infantry army. Two so-so ones. The Germans have a bunch of stuff here. We have a motorized SS division. We have a SS mechanized corps. We have a Swedish headquarters, Gustav. I think that's how you pronounce his name. We have a pilot. We'll put the pilot. We'll credit the pilot for now. Probably going to end up with some Ju-88. That's going to go on map, so the pilot will just go down anyways. What else we got here? We got some Soviet stuff. We got a Soviet bomber. Well, that's a pretty good bomber. DB-3F. He will probably go on map. Got the anti-tank division. We have a pilot for the Soviets. We have a pilot for the Commonwealth. We'll probably put the Spitfire on there anyways. It's a South African Spitfire. I might hold off on that for a bit because that's going to take forever to get that up here. I think the Americans are going to be leasing us a P-43A. Actually, that's Chinese. So yeah, we will put that on after all. Alright. We have two American pilots. Let's see, what else we got here? All kinds of goodies, just like Christmas. We got a Japanese mechanized division. And we have a Japanese artillery division. We have a Japanese pilot. Japanese now have 6 pilots. And we have an Italian sub going on map. We have a German Ju-89 4-engine bomber. He's probably going on map. Oh, we have the railgun. The Germans built the railgun. DoDIII 800mm railgun. We also have the Rommel HQ going on map. We also have a 9.5 armored core. A very nice armored core. That's going on map. We have 3 Japanese convoy points. We have a light cruiser for the U.S. going in a construction pool. And 6 American convoy points. They're getting enough convoy points now. They can start sending stuff all over the place. We have 3 Commonwealth convoy points, a tanker point. We also have a U.S. SBD-4 carrier plane. Don't know if that's going to go on map or not. I'll have to look at all that stuff. Japanese finished the factory. And then we got this stack in the 6 box. Let's see what we got here. We got the Kayo, Japanese carrier, going in a construction pool. We have the Hiyu going on map. The Hiyu, he goes on map. Put him down there for now. We have a Massachusetts battleship going in a construction pool for the U.S. We have the Dunkirk going on map for the Vichy. We have the Frederick de Grub. I think that's how you pronounce that. German battleship. And we have a German carrier going in the construction pool. And that's it. I will get these units on the map, get them deployed, and I will be right back with the first impulse. For the Democrats' first impulse, the Commonwealth chose a naval action. They basically moved their ships out to cover their convoy routes, and they put the home fleet in the Bay of Biscay to try to bottle up the Germans. And doing a naval is not much else they can do. Over here in China, the Chinese nationalists moved a couple units. That was about it. They're kind of satisfied with their line as it looks. And then we went to the communist Chinese as well. We're okay with that. The Soviets were okay with what they had. They shifted a couple units here and there, basically a couple units back away from the front a little bit. And then we came to the fascists. The Germans used their declaration of war on the Soviet Union, so we will have some attacks and some airstrikes and all kinds of stuff going on there. The Italians did a naval action. They landed some units here, sent some subs down here, and the Japanese did a combined action, first time in a while. Get a couple units on shore, and they got a whole bunch of land strikes, so I think we're going to start in Asia. So we have, on this hex right here, another bang up attack. It's a 2-to-1, and we have a whole bunch of ground strikes. We have 4 air units doing ground strikes. So we have a 3, a 2, a 2, and a 1. So there's 2 units there. We grab some dice. Okay, for the first unit, let's see. We'll do the 3 and a 1 and then the 2 2s. Well, that's the way we'll roll it. We'll roll the 3 and a 1 and then we'll roll the 2 2s. So for the first unit, the red is the 3. Well, that's nothing. And the 2 2s. Okay, we got 1 2. 1 2. Right there. Actually, that's a good place. Leave it right there. So we got the first unit is flipped over. And now the second unit, we'll do the same thing. Red is the 3. Oh, and we got a green 1. Right there, green 1. So the second unit is flipped over. So we'll do the combat over here before we go over to Europe. We got 10 points there, and 23, 40 points here halved is 20. I think it's 42. 42 points there halved is 20. All these air units got to go back to wherever they came from. Nanking looks good. And this guy can go to Shanghai. So we're going to use HQ benefits. We have an HQ somewhere in here. Oh, that's not there. Oh, there he is. We have an HQ, so we're going to flip him over. So it's going to be 2 to 1. It's going to be on the assault table. Well, actually, the Chinese are going to take a look at that. The Japanese can't break through. 2 to 1 on the assault table plus 3. So basically, a 5 or better, at least half the Japanese units are going to be face up. They really can't get hurt that bad. So on the Blitzkrieg table, well, that's the Blitzkrieg table. On the assault table, plus 3 would be a 4. Yeah, I think we're going to go assault, because if a 1 is rolled, the Japanese lose a unit, the Chinese lose nothing, and everything is flipped over, and that's the end of the offensive. Alright, so we got 2 to 1 plus 3. Let's see what this comes out like. 2 to 1 plus 3. Oh my god. See that? That's a 10. 2 to 1 plus 3, 10. That's 13 plus, so that's asterisk 2S. So 2 units die, so those 2 Chinese units do die. No Japanese units are flipped over. Those will go in the cadre box, because they will come back as cadres. And the Japanese can occupy the hex. The only unit that was flipped over was the HQ, because we used HQ benefits, and that's the way it goes. You use HQ benefits, and it flips over the HQ, and all these guys just happen to shift around. Alright, let's see. Probably want to leave those there. Alright, so we got the 6-2 militia. We'll throw up the 6-3 grunt, this guy, and this guy. HQ stays right there. Japan is very, very happy with that result. There's been a quagmire in here. They haven't been able to move at all. They have to make these low odds attacks, and it's really not doing much for them. Alright, let's go do the Italian naval action. Down here in, where is that? Cape Verde Basin. Alright, so they'll try to engage. We'll roll search dice. See any modifiers? There's no naval air. This looks like it's straight up roll. Okay, so the Commonwealth rolled a 1. And the Italians rolled a 9. Typical Italian. So do the Commonwealth want to engage the subs? They can't really use the 0 box, so they could. He's got 1 ASW point. However, we do have surprise. Let's see. 3. We have 4 points. He has 3, 12. He has 8 surprise points. Might be able to kill an Italian sub. 8 surprise points. We'll have to pick a surface action. I can never remember how these charts work. It would be really, really great if there was actually these surprise charts and stuff was on the, here we go. Okay, naval combat. Choosing combat type. Okay. Can't make it naval air, nobody has any. Okay, so we go down, we're gonna choose a surface combat. Actually, he's just gonna. The Italians refuse combat. That's the end of that. Because as subs, they can refuse combat. So that's the end of that. There's no more sub action anywhere else. The Germans did a land impulse, obviously. So let's go over here and start doing this. We got a whole bunch of ground strikes, 4 of them, I believe. We'll start way up here in the north, in Riga. That's this hex here. We have a 4. There are 3 units there. So each unit can ground strike with 2 dice. So it's going to be 2 4s for the first unit, 2 4s for the second unit, and 2 4s for the third unit. So the bottom unit is the air unit is the only one not flipped over. So he goes back and flips over because he's all done. Alright, and we got a ground strike here. We have a 3. It's probably not going to be as good. Alright, we got the top unit as a 3. He gets knocked out. And the bottom unit is a 2. So they're both flipped over. And over here we have 4. There is 3 units there as well. Top unit, next unit, and the bottom unit. Alright, so the 2 air units are flipped over and the HQ escapes. So he goes back to someplace. And he probably was right there. This is range 5, so he's probably right there. Okay. And we got one more ground strike down here. That's a 5. So there's 2 units there. Top unit, flipped over. Bottom unit, flipped over. So they're both flipped over. And he's got to go. He's probably going to be right here. Alright, now we got some attacks. We have some air support. There's no fighter interceptor. Sorry, I have one more ground strike right here. One more ground strike. That's a 4, and there's 2 units. Top unit, flipped. Bottom unit, flipped. And they're both flipped over. Alright. It's gonna have to go eeny, meeny, miny, right here, I guess. Oh no, that's right here. Right here, I guess. These actually, I don't know. These units, sometimes they get moved around a little bit, but that's the way it goes, I guess. Alright, now we got some attacks. First attack is right here. I believe we have a 8-1. 11, 14, 21, 30, 30-4. That's a 7-1. We have no armor. The Soviets are going to choose 7-1. Blitzkrieg, automatic dead. I guess we're going to go with the assault table. 7-1. And a 10. Roll the 10. I already know what that is. He's going to go on the cadre ball. No, he's not next to an HQ, and this has not been incorporated territory, so he's just dead. Now, the Germans can occupy that hex, which they're going to. The 9-4, leave the 7-4 memo, 6-3. And the 3-3. Perfect. Want to tack down. Tack number 2. Right here. That is a 8-to-1. That's going to be on the assault table again, because obviously it's in force, so they can choose the assault. 8-to-1 on the assault. Okay, so we're going to use the Blitzkrieg table because we have armor, so he's dead. Now I won't be able to blitz because it's a force tax, but I can occupy the hex. Now one Bach is going to occupy the hex, definitely. And those 2 units will occupy the hex. Alright. Over here, we have a 4-to-1. This is going to be +2, and we have armor, so it's going to give us a +3. He has an anti-aircraft unit, which helps his armor advantage, but I have, I think, 2 armored cores there, so it overwhelms it. So it's going to be a 4-to-1 +3 on the blitz. 4-to-1 +3 on the blitz. See what we get. 4-to-1 +3. We got a 6. That's going to give me a 9 on the 4-to-1. Asterisk 1B. Okay, so what that means is that one unit is killed and the other one is shattered. So the ground support goes away. It's going to go here. Okay, so one unit is killed and one is shattered. I think we're going to choose the anti-aircraft unit to be shattered. He will arrive back next turn. Now the Germans can occupy that hex, and they can blitz beyond it. I'm not sure if that works like that. I'm not. Nah. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, over here we have a 5-to-1. We have armor. So that's going to give us +1 on the blitz table. I think we have armor. Yes, we do. 5-to-1 on the blitz table. Let's see what that does. A 9. That's a 9 on the blitz table. 5-to-1. Alright, asterisk 2B. Alright, let's go back here. Asterisk 2B. So these guys are toast. And the Germans occupy the hex. And go one more. Actually, you can't blitz with infantry. Would like to, but can't. Can't do it. Alright. Over here, this guy's out of supply now. Not that it matters. 5 to 1 again. And we have armor, we got a +1. 5 to 1 +1. 5 to 1 on the Blitzkrieg table, we rolled a 4. 4. 4 is not usually very good. On the Blitzkrieg table, a 5. Asterisk, breakthrough. Asterisk, breakthrough. Now you're out of supply. I think you're eliminated when you break through. I'll have to look that up. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so the asterisk B is a breakthrough, and you have to retreat any units that are able to retreat. However, there's a German zone of control here and here, so he can't retreat into the zone of control, so these units are destroyed. And that was a breakthrough, so well, it doesn't really make much difference, I guess. Oh, yeah, we'll move them two there. That's a good idea. So, occupy the hex, break through to here. Alright. I think land movement is done for the Germans. Land combat. Air rebases. I don't have any air rebases. Oh, yeah. These guys seem to be getting moved around a lot for some reason. I think he was there. Alright, any more air rebases? Probably not. And then the reorganization, I don't have anything to reorganize. Alright, end of action. Okay, we don't roll because there's no roll. So I will go move on to the Democrats and see what we get for weather. There's always a possibility the weather could just go complete garbage. Let's see what we roll. Roll the 10. And if I remember correctly, that's going to be fair weather everywhere. 10, May, June. Fair weather everywhere. Impulse marker moves up 1. Alright. So I'm going to do the Democrats. I don't think they'll have any attacks. And then I'll move the communists, and I'll be back after I move the fascists. I'm sure there'll be some attacks for them. Back in a sec. So the weather roll ended up being a 10 for the Democrats, and that's fine weather everywhere. The British took a, I believe it is, they took a land impulse. They wanted to shift a few units around, which they did. They basically railed this guy up. This guy moved a little bit. These guys shifted forward. The Chinese nationalists, they didn't have much to do. They're kind of happy with their line. It's like each hex is 4 to 8 defending points each, doubled for being in mountains. So that's pretty good for them. The Americans didn't do anything. They took a combined, didn't do anything. The Free French didn't do anything. The Communist Chinese, they're okay. They're in the same situation that the nationalists in. Each hex is like 5 to 10 points each, and they're all doubled for being in the mountains, so they're kind of good with where they are. Japan's really in a tough spot. Most of their combat possibilities are like 2 to 1. Okay, okay, and so we did the Democrat impulse, the Communist impulse. The Russians did the best they could. They kind of moved a few units here and there. They railed a unit over from Siberia. That's this guy right here. He railed them over. They deployed their reserves. They're just trying to hang on right now. And then we came over to the fascists. And the fascists, the first thing the Italians do, they want to try to do sub-combat down here again. So we will flip over a unit. They'll probably roll, like a 9 or 10 again, because it's, well, it's the Italians. Oh, okay, they rolled a 2 that time. So that's everything in the 2 box and up. We will do, let's see, surprise points. So we have 11 and they have 5, which is +6. I think that's 3 shifts. So we'll try. We'll see what will happen. So this box is not included because we rolled a 2. So we have a total of 2, 3. We have a total of 5. I ain't gonna do much. Let's see what he has for ASW. Let's see, ASW. For ASW, the British have 1, 2. They only have 2 ships here. Oh, well, 1, 2, 3. 3 ASW points. 3 ASW points. Let's see. We have 2 U-boats. Well, 3 ASW can be 2 aborts. So we use one of our surprise points to move it down 1 and nothing happens. Okay, so we got 2 more. So we had, I had 5. I had 5, which is here. I can move it up 2 columns. He has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 ships total. Convoys. Each 5 convoys counts as 1 ship. So there's a total of 5 ships. 1 sunk. 3 aborted. Well, that's not too bad. So we'll take the sunk on the 3 convoy points. So that's sunk. And here we'll take aborted on, what is this? The Newcastle. It's got a pretty high defense. Defense of 6. Roll a die. He rolled 2. That means it's aborted. And let's see, we'll take another abort on the Southampton. That one also aborted. And the last abort will have to be on there aborted. So 3 convoy points are aborted. They go back here, not to be used. These guys are gonna have to go to port somewheres. Probably right here. Yep, they can base with the British. And so that was pretty good. The Italians did pretty good. Gonna roll for another round of combat. Nobody found anybody, so that's the end of that. I think I had to flip a sub to do that too. No, I didn't have to. Okay, so that's over. Japan has no attacks. They have no attacks. So that will take us right to the Italians also have no attacks. They did a combined. They have no attacks. They're just kind of trying to get some troops over here. They don't really have enough to actually make an attack. This is actually in mountains. So it's not going to be... Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Wrong. I'm wrong. The Italians do have an attack. Possibly. Let's do the ground strikes first. So the Italians have 2 ground strikes. They have a 1 and a 2. There are 2 units here. So we'll have the green die is the 1. The top unit, nothing. And the bottom unit, nothing. Typical. Go away, Italians. So we have a 2-to-1. They're going to commit their HQ here. Actually, I have to. Yeah. 2-to-1, and he's going to commit his defensive HQ. And let's see what happens. Probably be really horrendously bad. Because it's Italians. 2-to-1. Going to be on the Blitzkrieg table, because the Italians actually have armor. Isn't that amazing? Which gives them a +1. So roll a die. 2 to 1 on the Blitzkrieg table, plus 1. 6, which is a 7. Dash R. Well, that's useless. So the Commonwealth forces have to retreat. The Italians can advance, which they will. And everybody is flipped over. I'm not sure if the Italians are. I'm not sure if the British are flipped. I don't think they are. I think they're. I don't think they're flipped over because they didn't take any losses. They didn't lose more than the Italians. Nobody lost anything actually. So it's just the Italians getting flipped over. All right. So there's no attacks in Asia, like I said. So let's go straight to Russia. We got a bunch of attacks. A lot of them are going to be auto attacks. And auto, that means it's 7-1 on the Blitzkrieg table, which is automatically toast. They're automatically done. I do have a 5-1 right here, the first attack, and that's going to be a +1, +2. I don't think the flipped over air unit counts. So it's going to be at a +2. 5-1, +2 on the Blitz table. Roll a 9. 9. Blitz, 5-1. Asterisk 2B. So all these guys are gone. And the Germans can occupy the hex. Oh, actually, this is the hex, right? And then they can blitz from that hex, which they will. And he'll go there. Actually, no, he won't go there. You know what? This guy will go there. Perfect. All right. Over here, I believe this is a 7-1 attack. Yes, it is. Don't roll the die. This is the same thing. That's on the blitz table, so they can blitz. All right. This one here is the same thing, 7-1. He is gone and can blitz. I don't think, can you blitz into a forest? I don't think you can. I think it's the hex has to be no more than 1 movement. The hex you enter has to be 1 movement point. I'm not sure. I'm going to look that up. Okay, look that up. Yes, you can. It's the initial hex you occupy. It has to cost just 1 movement point. The hex after it, the cost doesn't matter as long as it doesn't exceed the cost of the units to move into there. They have 5 each. So that's 1, 2, 3. So they're all set. This unit right here, that's another 7-1. He's gone. And do I occupy it? Yeah, he's going to rebase. He's going to be out of supply. There's no attack there yet. We have a 7-1 here. He's this will be a cadre. Because we're now into Russia. This is actually Russia. So these are going to generate cadres. So the advance here and go a second hex. And this one here also is 7-1. And advance, and he'll advance there. Yeah, okay, that's it for attacks. I'll clean up these dice here a little bit. We will go to the Democrat turn. Oh, we got to rebase an aircraft. He's going to rebase. to here. He's going to rebase to here. 1, 2, 3 to here. Got to keep those air units moving. Got to keep them going. All right, so on to the Democrat impulse. This is going to be a rather long turn. Trying to keep it as time management as best. Okay, let's roll weather. A 10, another 10. Great weather everywhere. I'll be back probably with the attacks for the fascists, and I'll do everybody's movement and see how that turns out. Okay, and we're back, and so I've gone through the Democrat impulse, and I've gone through the Communist impulse. The Democrats, the British, they took a combined. They just moved a few units around. Nothing major. They're just trying to control this little Italian invasion or whatever. They did attempt some sub-action here, but it failed. And they also aborted their attack, their convoy point that was left in Cape Verde. Rather abort it than just lose it. Over here in Asia, the Chinese nationalists, they're fine. They think they have a pretty good defensive line, and that if the Japanese try to crack it, they're going to bleed. And that's exactly what they want to do. They want to bleed them. Over here in the Soviet Union, it's not looking good. The only thing the Soviets got going for them is that the Germans are kind of outrunning their supply right now. I did the fascist impulse. The Italians took a land impulse, moved a couple units. That was about all they did. I mean, there's nothing to do over here. The Japanese took a land impulse and moved a couple of units. And the Germans took a land impulse as well. And we have several attacks for the Germans. Alright, first attack we got is right here. This is a 10 plus to 1, so it's an auto. Oh yeah, the Soviets also railed this factory out. It's over in Siberia. Oh, that will go in the cadre pool. No, he is surrounded. Zone of control here and here, so he's dead. Sorry. But the factory, I'll show you. I railed out the factory. He's right here. I put a little micro die on it with a 2. And what that means is at the end of this turn, I'll change it to a 1. And at the end of the next turn, I'll take it off and it can produce again. Okay? That actually used 2 of their 3 rail capacity. I did rail a unit out of Persia because, well, the communists, they need some help. So I railed a unit out of Persia. Okay. Alright, let's roll some dice here. We have 6 to 1 in Odessa. It's just off the camera. I can't quite see it. Oh, there we go. 6 to 1 against Odessa. That's a 9. 6 to 1, that's going to be on the salt table. That's a 5 to 1, a 9. Asterisk 2S. Asterisk 2S, so he's gone. He is in supply, so he will be a cadre. The factory, however, is toast. Get another burning factory. And they'll occupy Odessa. Okay, we have another 6 to 1 right here. This is, there is armor, so it's a +1 for blitzing. 8, well, they're done. It's not even close. Oh yeah, I forgot to occupy the hex over here. That's not a blitzkrieg because it's a city hex, so This, however, is, but there's really nothing that can blitz. I mean, I suppose, no, actually I have nothing that can blitz. I'll just occupy that. We got a 6-1 here. It's got a +2. And I think I have armor. Do I have armor? Might not have armor. Oh yeah, armored HQ right there. So, oh, we got a +1 and a +2. +2 for the armor and a +1 for the Soviet HQ flipped over. So that's a 6-1 on the Blitzkrieg table. Roll the 6. 6-1, 2. That's an 8. It's asterisk 2B. So they're unfortunately gone. And that will be Cadre. He was here. It will not be Cadre. It's in Eastern Poland. Did not. The Soviets didn't incorporate the territory. It's next to an HQ. I think it is a Cadre. I think that one is. Because that's an HQ. So, and it's not isolated. This guy over here is a 7-1 on the Blitzkrieg table. I think I have armor. Or maybe I don't. I got motorized. I don't have armor. Oh yeah, right there. So he's automatically toast. Yeah, the Russians better build a ton of stuff. That's all I gotta say. Over here, we got a 4-1 attack. We got a +1, a +2. Got a +2. 4-1 assault table +2. This could be bad. This could end the northern little excursion. Well, I rolled a 6, so that's not too bad. So that's an 8. 4-1 on the assault table, an 8. That is cross 2S. So 2 units killed, the rest shattered. There's only 2 units there. And I gotta flip over half these units. We have 2, 4, 7. So I gotta flip over 3. So these 2 Swedes will flip over. That's an easy choice. They'll occupy Riga. And don't want to flip the armor over. Or the artillery. I guess the 7-4 gets flipped over. That's the first victory for the Russians. Sort of. I'm not going to attack here because it's like 3-1 or something, and this thing here, this anti-aircraft, it doubles when you attack it with armor. That's the pink. And they got an HQ there that's a 6-point HQ. Yeah, that would be bad. So I'm not going to attack that. Just going to leave it. And we got to rebase some aircraft, and I think that will be it for the fascists. So I will rebase some aircraft and then move on to the weather, and I'll be back. I'll roll the weather. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, we're back around to the fascists again. Nothing much happened in Asia. Japanese continue shuffling a few units here and there, looking to do something. The Commonwealth, they shuffled a couple units here. They moved this guy up a little bit. That was about all they did. They considered doing a raid on the Italian fleet, but they decided not to because that might give the Germans a perfect excuse to come out of Bordeaux and basically chop up part of the British fleet in the Bay of Biscay. So the British want to leave this fleet here as a reactionary force in case the Germans decide to do something. Okay, so the communists, the Soviets, they basically retreated a little bit through here. They actually have a little bit of breathing room now, just a little tiny bit. And then we rolled to see if the turn ended, and of course it didn't. The weather roll that the Democrats rolled was a 6, which is fine weather everywhere except rain and north monsoon. Okay, so then we came after the communists finished up everything they wanted to do. They did rail another factory out. They railed this factory right here. The one in Dnipropetrovsk. They railed that out. You can't rail the red ones. See, there's a blue one and a red one there. So they can rail out the blue ones. They can't rail the red ones. So they railed that out. It's over here. Railed it to the same location as the other one, and it'll come online at the same time. All right. Okay, so I'm back in the fascist. Germany decided to do a combined. They shuffled a few units around. They're basically trying to get their headquarters up so they get back into supply. There will actually be no attacks this turn on the Eastern Front. Surprise, surprise. However, they did use their 6 air missions to go and decide to bomb London. And we also sorted the U-boats. Gonna decide to maybe sink some convoys, possibly. So, let's check out this and see how this is going to work. Grab my dice. We'll do the naval one first. So the Germans have to flip. There we go. We have to flip a sub. We'll flip this guy to initiate. We'll roll for searching. Well, with a 6 and a 9, nobody found anybody, so that was a waste. Gotta love it. Alright, and now let's go over to the air battle. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that right there. I'll zoom in a little bit. Fix the camera. There. Alright, so, got a good old air battle here. Battle over London. So the British have a 5, a 4, a 4, and a 3 for fighters, and the Germans have a 6, a 6, and a 5. So it nets out to be 7.1 versus 6.1. 7.1 to 6.1. So it's going to be a +1, -1. So the Commonwealth rolls first on the -1 chart for air battles. No place to roll dice. Well, an 11 is really bad. 11 on the -1. Defender clears through any one bomber. So the defender will clear through this bomber. So he will make it. Now the Germans reply on the +1 column. They roll a 10, which is not much better. Defender clears through. DC. Defender clears through any one bomber. Okay, he doesn't have any bombers, so that doesn't matter. Well, back onto the -1 chart for the Commonwealth. This time I roll a 6. That's much better. Attack or abort. Attacker aborts defender's front fighter or front bomber. He's going to abort my front bomber, because that's the whole purpose, is to keep the Germans from bombing London. And now the Germans will roll and reply. They roll a 10. That's really bad. Defender clears through. Defender clears through any one bomber. Well, he doesn't have a bomber, so back to the -1. Okay, -1. That's a DA. Roll the 14. That's defender aborts own front fighter or front bomber. Yeah, that's bad. We'll abort the front bomber. Alright. Roll and reply. Oh, this is going to be the Commonwealth rolling. 10. Defender clears through any one bomber. We will clear through this guy because he's a 4. Now the Germans roll. They roll a 4. AX. Attacker destroys defender's front fighter or front bomber. So the defender will lose the Commonwealth. Will lose their front fighter. They will get a pilot, because the pilot is not killed. And now, the Commonwealth, let's see, he now has 4.7 to 7.1. 71 minus 47 is 24. So it's going to be +2 minus 2. So he's going to be rolling on the -2. Oh, I rolled a 7. That's pretty good on -2. Defender abort. Defender aborts own front fighter or front bomber. We'll abort the front fighter. Alright. Now we have 6.5 against 4.7. That is a difference of... Oh, is this simultaneous? Okay. Yeah, it is. So I still roll on the +2. Oh, that's a 4. Attack or destroy. So he has to destroy... Oh, that's an American Lend-Lease plane. Yeah, he's going back here. Sorry. This will go in the American force pool. Actually, the British can rebuild that, I think. I'll have to look that up. I think. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. Alright. Now the Commonwealth rolls. He has a 4.3 against a 6.5. That's going to be +2 minus 2. He's going to roll on the -2. We're going to stick it out. Hope we get a good roll here. 11. That's not a good roll. Defender clears through another bomber. I'll clear through that. And now the Germans reply. They rolled a 17 on the +2 column. Defender kills. Defender destroys own front fighter or front bomber. Well, that's the front bomber. And the pilot is killed. So he doesn't get a pilot. Okay, and at this point, I think the Commonwealth will abort. That was bad. The remaining bombers get through. The fighters go home, land someplace. Yeah, I think he goes there. I don't remember where this guy goes. I think he goes here. Cherbourg. Okay. Alright, so now we bomb. Boom, boom, boom. We have 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 strategic bombing points. Okay. Alright, so we don't have any modifiers to the die, it's just a straight up roll. 11 bombing factors. We rolled a 9. We rolled a 9. Ain't a 9. Alright, rolled a 9. What does that do with 11? 3. 3 production points lost. If that one bomber hadn't been aborted, I'd have destroyed the Germans would have destroyed a factory. So he's going to lose 3 production points. I will write that down. That's not too bad. The Germans consider that pretty good. They'll take it. All these guys are going to abort. They're going to get flipped over on the way back. Condor with a range of 19. These float planes actually can base outside the harbor, so that's not an overstack. Yeah. Alright. And I think that's it for the fascists. The Italians got no attacks. Yeah, they don't have any attacks. The U-boats, the subs are going to end up going home at some point because there's nothing down there. We'll just pick them up and we'll roll to see if the turn ends. It's on a 1. I roll a 4. Move over to the Democrats. The Democrats will roll for weather. They want to really super duper, really like a 1. A 3. That will probably do it. That's probably going to bog things down in Russia. I think that weather will just save the Russians. Let's see. 3, May, June. Rain in the Arctic. That will save the Russians. Rain in the Arctic. Storm in North Monsoon, rain in South Monsoon. Storm in North Monsoon, rain in South Monsoon. The marker moves up 1 and we have a +1 to the next weather roll. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, not much to see. The Germans moved a little bit over there. Not a whole lot. Got a supply problem because of the rain. Moved a little bit. Oh, this guy was a 10 plus to 1, so I didn't even bother to roll it. Over here we got the possible sub action. So we will flip another sub and roll to see if we get lucky or not. Well, they rolled a 4, which doesn't catch any of the German units, and they rolled a 9, which doesn't catch any of their units, so that's a big waste. Alright. Good thing the Italians killed some convoys, because, ain't killed anything. Haven't killed anything. Alright, so that's the end of that. The Japanese just shuffled a couple units here and there. Don't think they have an attack. Probably not. Go check it anyways. No, they don't. We'll roll to end the turn. We need a 2 to end the turn. An 8 doesn't do it. Move on to the Democrats. They will roll weather. There's a +1 to this. It's an 11. I think that's fair weather everywhere, which is really bad for the Russians. I think the Democrats are going to pass and try to end the turn. Try to get out of this turn. So they need a 4. And they rolled a 5. Too bad, so sad. Move on to the communists. I'll move them, be back in a second. Okay, we're back around to the fascists. And we are going to try the sub thing again. Maybe this third time's the charm, huh? 5 and a 2. So they found us with their ships, but I don't think they're going to choose to engage. Because I think they would probably get 2. There's not enough surprise points there. 3 surprise points. 2 ASW. Well, the subs can just they can avoid surface combat, so they don't even have to have combat. They just, nope, we're not doing it. Okay, That's that. And let's go over to Russia. Got a couple attacks in Russia. We have a 5-1 here, +2. That'll be on the blitz table. 5-1 +2. Oh, rolled a 9. That's a 9. 5-1 +2, 9, 2B. Asterisk 2B. And I will get a cadre for that, because he's still in supply. I got another attack right here. That's a 7-1 on the assault table. No pluses because it's in a city. Assault table 7-1. It could go bad. Anything's possible. Oh, I just killed all my counters. 7-1, a 7. Asterisk 2S. Asterisk 2S. Okay, well, I know where these went. Yeah, they're supposed to be right there. Oh yeah, we're supposed to occupy the hex. DoDIII. Asterisk 2X, so he's toast, and not going to get a cadre for that because it's isolated. Alright. I'll occupy the hex. Can't blitz beyond that, so too bad for that. I'll almost be able to capture a factory here. Almost right on the verge. Right on the verge. Alright, oh, I think this was here. I think the die knocked it. That's it for attacks. We'll roll to end the turn. The turn ends on a 4. On a 4, we're done. And I rolled a 1. So that's it for the turn. The Russians are so happy that the turn has ended. They are thrilled. Okay, so I'll clean this all up, reorganize everything, and I'll be right back with production. Well, okay, so the turn ended on the fascist impulse. I think it's pretty lucky for the Russians that it did, because they really didn't have a whole lot left. They really needed some bad weather, and that one turn probably actually saved them from losing a lot more. Okay, so production. So Germany is now producing 35. Oh, I just wanted to mention that the level 1 treaty between Germany and Russia expired at the end of last turn. So all the trade stuff, all that had expired. That was pre-written into the treaty. Okay, Germany produced 35, started with 19, spent 28. As you can see, we have a heavy turn of spending by all the major powers. Japan produced 20, started with 9, spent 22. Italy produced 11, started with 7, spent 11. The USSR had 4 cadre, produced 25. They get a bump up in their production because combat inside of the Soviet Union. They started with 27 and they spent 35. They need units. The Commonwealth produced 14. That was after I subtracted the 3 production points. They started with 6 and they spent 14. The U.S. produced 28, even after all the lending they did, because they lent an oil to the Commonwealth, they lent a build point to the Chinese, and they lent the resource to the Chinese. They started with 17 and they spent 22. China, they got a resource from the U.S., a build point from the U.S. They got 2 cadre. They produced 5 total, and they started with 4, and they spent 3. The Free French, they produced 1, and they're at -3 now. Okay, so I will get these on the circle, all these reinforcements, and hopefully I can get this turn uploaded maybe by tomorrow. Hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.